Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing yet another movie review. This movie is a drama from Estonia, Estonian language English subs, released in the year 2016, directed by ViewWorldCinema, and this film is called Pretenders. It's also known as Delusion, so if you can't find it under one title, please look for it under the other. So the story of Pretenders, you have a married couple that have major issues, so they decide to leave their busy lifestyles behind for a few days and go to a luxurious mansion in the middle of nowhere that's owned by a family friend. So this is a perfect opportunity to really get a connection with each other once again. But things are going to be very complex because one evening when a storm approaches, there's a knock on the door. So they answer the door and it's another couple. Now this mysterious couple say that the woman's actually cut her foot open on one of the rocks at the beach and she needs medical assistance. And so they're not supposed to be here for very long, but it actually turns out that they stay the evening. And one evening turns to 2, and then 3, and then 4. And before they know it, this strange couple are actually integrated in the lives of the main couple. And the reason is because the woman of the main couple wants to give the impression that she owns this house. It's not owned by a family friend, because the more she lies and the more she bigs herself up, the better she feels, and the more she feels in control of the situation. And so as the lies build, so too do the consequences that threaten to spiral down a very dangerous path. So whether or not it does is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Pretenders, aka Delusion. Although this is not a perfect film, I thought as though it was an incredibly interesting film, and it's definitely a movie I'd recommend if you are into European cinema. But unfortunately there are issues to the film that I'll address a little bit later. But what I really liked about this movie is that it is about insecurities. It's about a failed marriage. It's about a marriage that is deteriorating before your very eyes, and it is down to the fact that we judge people these days based on their possessions. Is that if we have a better car than the next person, we see ourselves as better people. We feel better about ourselves. If we have a bigger house, we feel better than the next person. And so everything that is material is compensating for that lack of security. That insecurity in this film is very uncomfortable. And the main character, especially this female, I thought the way that she was living her life by that lie was very relevant in today's society, whether it is through materialistic things such as good cars and houses, or even on the internet, whether it's you've got more subscribers than the next channel, so you see yourself as a better person than, because we don't want to get to know someone, we just want to feel better about ourselves because we have that thing to prove that we're good. But if you actually know you're a good person inside, you don't need that proof, you don't need that evidence. So not only are you trying to convince someone that you're better than the next person, but you're trying to convince yourself. But unfortunately you're not addressing the real issue, and so it does become very tiresome and it does deteriorate. Before you know it, you can only live a lie so long before things come undone. And this movie showed that in a very, very realistic way, and I thought the way it came undone was like a train wreck. And unfortunately this marriage was a failed marriage because they were never willing to address their real issues. And so not knowing someone on a personal basis, just a material base, is ultimately a recipe for disaster. And I thought Pretenders, aka Delusion, it really portrayed that message in a way that I thought was very, very relevant. Whether it is on YouTube or Instagram, we need followers, we need that reinforcement that we are good, that we are capable, and not believing it yourself can only take you so far. So it's an empty life. And this whole film had a strange emptiness to it, but the emptiness was through the complexity. And so I thought as though ViewWorldCinema produced a movie that was very European, it was very mundane, but it was very, very soul-searching, because not only is this, as I said, about a married couple, but it's about society, and it's about our possessions that's worth more than our personalities. And so this main character, I thought they were very, very well played by the actors. I thought the married couple the chemistry was there. I could tell that they once loved each other, but again, the lies got in the way. And so this strange couple, when they come into the story, I thought they were very sympathetic. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but I thought, all right, well, this is definitely the result of that materialistic possessions getting in the way, and judging someone based on what they own as opposed to who they are as people. And so I thought the dynamics between these couples was fascinating, it was riveting, and I thought as that was actually quite disturbing, is because I know people like this, and unfortunately this is the way of the world. We all just judge each other based on looks, based on what we own, and this is how we evaluate people instead of actually getting to know them. And so Vala Tumla has created something that I thought was actually quite unnerving. The way he used the camera, I thought actually reminded me of previous films of Michael Haneke. This is a film that goes at a very slow pace, but I thought the build-up of tension within this married couple I thought was very evident, and it does amount to an sense of anticipation that something is going to go horribly wrong. So the cinematography I thought was excellent, the soundtrack was fantastic, and so all of that should have added up to a really, really good film, but unfortunately the ending really kills it. I thought the ending, it left a few questions for interpretation, and I thought those answers to those questions kind of defeat the purpose of the film. I'm not sure what Vala Tumla was actually trying with this particular ending. I thought as that was quite silly, and it just it made me think, and it begged the question as to what was the point of the whole experience if this was actually the ending that was intended. And so I was left scratching my head. I thought the execution to all these really good ideas was not there, and it just let me down. It kind of deflated itself. It was a very anticlimactic feeling that I had. I thought as though it was brimming to the surface for something that was going to be absolutely unbearable, but it just lets itself down, and I thought, well, it didn't really make a lot of sense. And unfortunately, a lot of films really shoot themselves in the foot by the endings, and definitely Pretenders is one of those movies. And so the movie is definitely not going to be recommended for people who want your standard cinema, where it's about thrilling car chases and action. This is a movie that is definitely psychological drama about real human relationships, and as I said, the view of what we own as opposed to who we are as people in determining who is a good person and who isn't. So the movie does have a very creepy sort of tone to it, but unfortunately, as I said, at the end of it, I just thought to myself, is that it? I thought as though if it had a better ending, it could have been absolutely fantastic, but it's still a very thought-provoking film, and it's a film I'm recommending to all the die-hard European cinema film lovers. I'm going to give Pretenders, aka Delusion, 3.5 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.